Everyone out there, we will be live in just a minute, posting the links everywhere. Take this time to hit share. Share, share, share. We got some stock tips. We have some factoids coming your way. Oh my, be prepared. Also, feel free to jump into the comments. Anything, jump on in. We'll discuss. It's a Friday night. Get your drink ready. I will be having a beer. All right, let's hit it. It is time. Welcome to the show, everybody. Another day in paradise. We are going to start with some stock discussion. As everybody knows, that is all the rage. And if you haven't been paying attention and living under a rock, yesterday's episode would be very informative for you. Right now, it's Friday, which definitely means everyone needs a drink. Okay, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are in a extremely strange place in the stock market. Before we hit the ground running, let's see, hold on. Tinkerbell has made a comment. We'll read it right off the bat. I'm sorry, Sasha, about my eyes, but it's for the upload purposes. I might do some more work to convey the point that I am getting a an eye issue, so I might put like staticky TVs as a first layer and then the matrix coating. I will work on it. It is definitely creepy, but I want it that way. Okay. So again, everyone, if you can, share it. If not, you can't, whatever. Pay attention. We're going to have some fun. And if you like stocks or you're just trying to get in on this crazy, it's right on the TV in the background, is this crazy moment in stocks, it would be a good time. And I'm going to explain to you why. First, let's hit the ground running and start with right here. Again, some of this video came out sideways. I think I found the remedy for it, but here we go.
Do you anticipate President Biden to address the GameStop controversy when he meets with his economic team a little bit later this morning?
No. Do I anticipate him addressing it publicly, you mean?
No, just talking about it with his economic team.
Well, the focus of the meeting is about the recovery plan, about the status of the economic recovery, about obviously the data that we saw yesterday. I'm sure they'll cover a range of topics during that meeting, but that's not the focus.
Story. Okay.
I know it's a big story, but it doesn't, obviously our focus and our big story is getting the American people back to work.
That was on Breitbart. Now, before we continue, I have one more clip, and then we can hit the ground running.
The Treasury Secretary is monitoring the situation, and she's kind of on top of it. There have been some kind of concerns about her previous engagements with Citadel and speaking fees that she has received from Citadel. Are there any plans to have her recuse herself from advising the president on GameStop and the whole Robinhood situation?
Well, just to be clear, what I said was that we have the Treasury Secretary is now confirmed. Obviously, we have a broad economic team. The SEC put out a statement yesterday that I referred to, but I don't think I have anything more for you on it, other than to say, separate from the GameStop issue, the Secretary of Treasury is one of the world-renowned experts on markets, on the economy. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone she was paid to give her perspective and advice before she came into office.
C-SPAN via New York Post. Okay, now we're going to get fun. So what we're having here is the same thing as it has been in politics from both sides for as long as the brain can physically remember. We don't get a fair shake. And by we, I mean people that aren't privy to be in a super lucrative hedge fund or have ties to special interest government issues that are tied to financial institutions. And that's where Robinhood came in. Robinhood is taking a pounding. And to boot, they have to deal with one hell of an angry Dave Portnoy, who I brought up. Every channel I've turned on today, Dave Portnoy's face was staring at me with this fiery rage in his eyes. He is out for blood. He is out to end Robinhood's app completely. How they're going to go about that, I'm not exactly sure. But they are ready to go to war. And so many users are. So half of the stock trading that happened with GameStop was on the platform Robinhood. So half of that. So yesterday when they put that stop in and they wouldn't let you trade it, that means half of these trades that created this ginormous bubble, if you will, were stuck. They couldn't buy, they couldn't do anything, and they were worried and forced essentially to sell and watch it plummet. There was no way to bring the numbers back up because there was no way to go in. And again, as always, I have to start this with, I have no true talent in the stock market outside of my own studies. I am not a professional broker, and although I give tips, they're just opinions, and they can totally go bankrupt tomorrow. At one time, I owned 3 million shares of Vpor, and that was ending up to be a garbage stock, so I blew thousands on it. And that was a fractional marginal penny stock, so clearly, sometimes my study could go bad. Having said that, I'm up overall, so I can't be that bad. And you're going to see why, because I put this all together with facts. I don't just come out here and spew some crap and throw it at the wall, but so many educated people don't have a clue about the stock market or the situation at hand. They have wildly off-based opinions that don't have anything backing it besides a feeling. And in this world, we know feelings have gone a long way, give or take what category, but we can't lead with opinions and feelings that we haven't actually vetted at all. Okay? Okay. So, let's get into it. Robinhood's going to get crushed, and here's why. ETrade. Okay, well, I just put up down detector saying ETrade was having possible problems today. How would I know that? Because ETrade still lets you trade these stocks, these meme stocks, these Reddit stocks. And from what I've heard from everyone that uses Robinhood, well, they're in the process of opening an account somewhere, and most of them are opening them at ETrade, because I have had no issue trading these meme stocks at ETrade. Matter of fact, I own a good amount, not a good amount, but a sufficient amount that if it goes up, I will be an extremely happy person. Having said that, today, as I was going on to buy some BlackBerry, I couldn't get on. I was running into issues. And then I looked it up, and I found out ETrade was having problems. And if you think, well, let's put it this way. Conor McGregor fought this past weekend. Sadly, he lost. But there was problems with ESPN on a massive scale. ESPN Plus. So, what was going on? Well, it was the second highest pay-per-view sale of all time for the UFC. And I believe it was their highest pay-per-view sale on ESPN Plus. And when you go that route, you're running into servers. It's a different type of broadcast. So when somebody is flooding the ETrade servers, which would probably be a vast amount, and this is all speculating, but if you can speculate and put at least an analogy and a situation behind it that makes sense, it's kind of a gamble, but it's an educated gamble. You're starting to play odds. And that's exactly what the stock market, again, is. It's always volatile. So don't buy that Robinhood stupid BS. So we have ETrade running into problems, which means, in my eyes, in my own opinion, is their servers getting overloaded by people going there. Now, when you open an ETrade account, you can't just trade. You have to get money into said account, whether that's linking it to a checking account, waiting a couple of business days, having your micro deposits put in so you can confirm that you actually own that checking account, and then you have to transfer money. Depending on how much holdings you have, you sometimes have only a certain amount of the money you can use after you transfer it before they let you use it, or maybe zero in some cases. I don't know. I'm far past that. So when you're there at ETrade and you're making that jump, it takes days. I started ETrade back in the Pokemon Go boom. And what I did was, I was like, God damn it, I have to wait all these days for this to clear, and the stocks were going up and down, and I just wanted to get in. I was like, this Nintendo stock's going to keep going up, yada, yada, yada. So, if you ask me how I did on Nintendo, I doubled my investment, which is a really good thing. You say if you make 10%, you've done a good job. Well, I made 100% of my money. Congratulations to me. I also turned $30 into $1,000 at one point on VXRT. That was a stupid gamble, but it was $30. Who would have known, right? The stock market's a crazy place. Okay. So, now we're saying their servers might be down. So we kept looking. 11 p.m. last night, everybody's been that I know that has Robinhood, again, wants out. They want to liquidate out where they can, and they're still opening ETrades to do further investments because they're done. Everyone has been betrayed by ETrade. It's completely, it's tanked the possible income. So you have right at 11 a.m. it was starting to skyrocket. I still got my BlackBerry trades through. Okay, now we're going to go scroll up slow. The scroll is so fast on this mouse. Here we go. So you see you're running into the problems at ETrade that started yesterday. They're resolved, and you start to say, okay, we're having issues on the website, on the login, placing the orders. This could very well, again, it's definitely speculation. There's no way to really confirm this. This is what you're looking at. People are jumping ship to where they can trade these stocks, and they've been left in the dust by their brokerage. Okay? And now you read the comments. Comments, the proof is in the pudding of the common man that is doing this investing for these meme stocks. So if you watch the ebbs and flows and who's supporting it, you have people like Ted Cruz, who's a Republican, conservative. He's supporting the right for the common man to do exactly what's going on. And then you have Rashida Tlaib and you have AOC supporting what's going on. However, the White House has an investigation starting. They said the regulatory bodies are going to investigate it. But the White House doesn't really have a comment to put forward. And I believe it's the Secretary of Treasury now of the U.S. Has been paid over $800,000 from these hedge funds that were affected, that essentially worked with Robinhood to manipulate the stock market and the specific stocks by only letting people sell. And now they were trying to be like, oh, no, we're not just doing that. It's volatile. We're trying to help you, like they said yesterday. Now they put a quota on how much you can buy. So they're still manipulating the price of all of these stocks. Robinhood's done. Mark my words, and it doesn't help them or bode well for them that Dave Portnoy is going to make sure they're done. But everybody is on board. And again, when you have somebody like Dave Portnoy, who's actually invested and angry, and he's rallying up troops essentially just by showing he's angry. So you start to play on where everyone's emotions are at. Bipartisan support, the little man to the middle class totally getting destroyed on this deal. And the only one making out is the hedge fund people and completely ignoring laws about market manipulation. So here's some comments. I logged into ETrade just now on Firefox, and there was a script occurring, the text on the page, so logged out and back in, still script. Logged out in and said no access due to presence of cross-scripting script. So there was lots of issues. Is ETrade complicit and maybe, but we have to see how that goes. But you could still trade on ETrade. So there's also that. Okay. So you go through it. Support is ridiculous because it is hard to get support on a lot of these places. But this one stood out. Google has deleted, and I can't fact check this, but at least 100,000 negative reviews of the stock trading app Robinhood from the Google Play App Store, cracking down on angry users review bombing the app in mass, while Facebook took down a popular trading group from its platform for allegedly violating its rules. Again, I could not check that. I found this recently, this whole thing, because I was diving into why I was running into issues earlier in the day before I came on here. And the people are angry. The people that are paying attention are very angry because they done been did dirty. Okay? Done been did dirty. Don't forget that. So we got a few more comments because you have to see how the trend is going, what's online, how people are feeling. And again, people win support with these comments. It shows the people like me who's studying that the movement is very, very strong. Same problem for me. Did you get in? Yes, extremely slow. The last few weeks, the first half hour to an hour of trading is either not working. So this is saying the past few weeks. I've experienced none of this except today. So they dislike brokers, probably switching to a smaller broker or a trade station. So people are all they're all diving into new areas because right now is a flood market, right? So I'm going to give you, I'm building it, different stocks that, oh wait, this one is missing. Where is it? Oh, there, nope, there we go. Okay, so I just have that with a space. So I'm giving you some stock information in general. This is not a stock show. This is just a news show, but right now stocks are hot. And, am I peeking it? I'm peeking at you. So if you look at these stocks specifically, these are all mushroom stocks, shroom stocks, if you will. The way I invest is I get a scent, I decide what I'm going to do. And in this case, there's been legalization of the active ingredient in magic mushrooms. And they're using it as a medication. So these stocks specifically are involved with medications for shrooms. That's right, the groovy shrooms that the hippies all take. So I invested a small amount in, and a small, it was like 600, I believe. And these are my gains on these stocks just from today, and then my overall, not just from today, I'm sorry, I take that back. My overall gain on these stocks and my percentages. Again, these can go up. So right now, in a Biden economy, there's certain things. I've padded my stocks with energy efficient things. The Amazon, these are all going to go up in value as per my idea of how I see it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. They're going to expand the investing into medications that involve the active ingredient in mushrooms. And, of course, tons and tons of what is pending to happen eventually within this administration, federally legalizing marijuana. So I have a ton of that. So in this administration, my personal for fun stocks are padded in a very good way for this specific administration. Oh boy, and Tesla and Apple. Gotta love them. So these picks are what I have. And you see I'm doing some serious damage with where I'm at, with the percentages I'm up. I believe that's all of them. I may even be missing one. Okay, so where am I overall with this moment in time? I am extremely, extremely bullish on the meme stocks, because when all of those microtransactions clear at all of these new brokerage houses that are getting a brand new base coming to the table, people are going to start to get back in on the specifics that they can. And whether or not the hedge funds, I think I'm missing some. Yes, I am. Let's see, maybe 5, 4, 3, 2. Because I'm almost positive somewhere along the way I had a show of, and I like almost positive. Let's see. No, that's back to the movie. All right, I might run into something later on. I had a clip for you, and said clip is gone, and it was that how many billions were being drained from hedge funds and financial institutions from this moment in time, and it was something along the lines, if I'm not mistaken, of 70 billion throughout all of these different institutions. Some hit much more than others, of course. Now we're at the moment where, like I said, I'm still bullish, and I think that with the bipartisan support of the AOCs and the Rashida Tlaib and the Ted Cruzes of the world, and the ultimate goal of middle class and the lower economic levels that were stuck with things like Robinhood, they're going to step up, and I think that they're going to still invest. That's my ultimate belief. So they have still the Nokias, the Naked brand, the BlackBerry, so NOK, BB, AMC, and of course GameStop. I think that there's going to be a mass exodus from Robinhood, and we will see how the White House and the federal government and all these agencies respond to what happened, because there's clearly corruption and crime coming from the top of these financial institutions. So, we're going to move on. That was my stock world. I am very bullish. If I had a MIDI controller,
that was easy.
I would have the bulls run across the screen like Jim Cramer. That's my pick. I would say grab some if you can and take the ride. And if you lose it all, you lose it all. If it goes bankrupt, it goes bankrupt. But when you go to the casino, never expect to leave a winner. And when you can, go buy a Tempur-Pedic bed like I did. Okay, here we are. Single-digit temperatures in New York City. A wind advisory is in effect for every borough and surrounding counties. This will result in feels-like temperatures as low as a negative 10 degrees throughout the day. This came out at some point today. And I was just wondering if anybody was looking for some company tonight for some outdoor dining, because it seems like it's really good weather to go get a pizza and sit outside in the beautiful weather. Oh, the weather outside is weather. But what did Cuomo do? Well, Cuomo is in a very, very big storm de la poo-poo, if you will, which translated to shitstorm.
That was easy.
Okay, so he did something else, which came out on the Citizen app today. New York City Indoor Dining can reopen February 14th. Governor Cuomo announced that New York City restaurants can resume indoor dining at 25% capacity beginning on Valentine's Day. Thank you, my lord. Anyone finding this extremely weird? That with all the pressure building, as recent as yesterday or the day before, he said there will be no indoor dining in the foreseeable future for New York City. And then all of a sudden, bam, it's back in play. Just like that. New York City is going to be open for 25%. Now, 25%, again, with the numbers that they had, which was extremely low and argumentative at best with the spread of the coronavirus, we're now entering the phase where people are trying to not show that they were wrong, but open things slowly to prove that they're working with you and kind of maybe they were wrong. Maybe Cuomo will never admit any wrong. We saw clips of him today on TV during his briefing where he listens to himself talk forever and he proclaims things. I kind of think I would find it more interesting if he actually brought a prop like a scepter or a crown. Maybe wore like a red velvet cape or dressed like Lord Farquaad from Shrek. But here we are, and now all of a sudden, 2 days after saying it can't be done, it's going to be done. And before that, he was saying it has to be closed, and then he starts to out of nowhere say, but if we stay closed, it's all going to fall apart. And again, this has been going on since day one, people. People in small businesses have been complaining as everyone else was open. Now, Valentine's Day, oh, my Lord is letting me out for the holiday. I can bring me lover at 25% capacity. Reality? This is a real reality check, and I want everybody to really, really listen to this. At 25% capacity in New York City, nobody can still sustain their restaurant. It's physically impossible. It's the same exact concept of if they were going to raise the prices to match to match the loss so they can still have an operational cost efficiency. You'd be back to where AOC was when she was talking about the minimum wage going up and driving the coffee shop she used to work at out of business. Because who's going out for a dinner with their loved one, if they can even find a location, because it's only 25%, and saying, I will spend $800 tonight because then it makes sense for both the restaurant and the people. But the restaurants are going to roll with it. And they have to, because they have to get some cash in. They'll still be purging cash out of the gills, but they have to do it. Because they don't really have a choice. Still unconstitutional, still incorrect. But the gears are moving because it's got to happen. There's no other choice, and Cuomo has no other choice, because it's going to happen in a legal sense before you know it. So, if he does this before there's any legal action, and he saw the writing on the wall from other legal cases, we're here now. This is where we're at, and he's slowly putting these out to beat the legal cases and to somewhat look like he is working with the people. Also, this all comes out, interestingly, like the day after the New York Attorney General said up to 50% the numbers were lightened by the deaths in nursing homes. So there was more deaths in the nursing homes that were never classified as COVID. You could have your opinions on it, but if people were dying and being forced to go back to these places while there was available places like the Navy ship, like the Jacob Javits Center in New York City, this is gross negligence as far as the common people that are starting to see it. There's no reason any government official, let alone the governor of New York, can fix the numbers that were already abysmal. They were disgusting to begin with. And then you find out they also lied, which is a disgusting thing to do during this. And then you go on TV and you don't want to budge and you say, what's the difference? It's the same thing like when Hillary said, 4 people died. They're dead. What's the difference about Benghazi? The difference is you don't get to lie. You're not some king. And corruption doesn't just work for you because you're in charge and people that live in the city put you there. None of it works. And it shouldn't. And this isn't a party issue, but yet it still becomes a political football and a party issue. It's still gross negligence. It's still corruption. And they still shoved lies down your throat. And if your family member died and they said, well, we're going to change the numbers and it's going to have nothing to do with it, yada, 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 it's inappropriate at best. And then they showed a montage on TV. The camera will be back in 3, 2, 1. They showed a montage on the TV and this montage was the romance that everybody had for him. You're a great leader. You're a great bachelor. Are you single? You're a real leader, and everyone knows it. And I think I saw a part that Eva Longoria is now a newscaster. I don't know if that's true. I hope to God it's not, but it makes sense to hire actors and actresses as newscasters at this point, because they're really good at selling you lies. That's their job. They're probably better than the original anchors that sell you lies. Nobody on God's green earth should be okay with being cheated, defrauded by corruption, and ruled, because the true nature of a human being is to work with each other, respect each other, and have the freedom to do things and not be a slave to the government in any shape, way, or form. That's why everyone aspires to be free like America, or they go through hellfire and brimstone to get here. And you could call it, like they've said, it's a racist country. If it is a racist country, freedom is more important than being prosecuted by racism, essentially, if that's your true take on it, because people are still flooding here from other countries. Now, with all that going on, there's more. So, I always tell you on this show, I do like to call out stuff that just doesn't make sense. It's BS, riddled with BS. So someone, and this is from the Daily Caller, someone edited a Maxine Waters quote about Trump staffers so that it applied to Cuomo staffers, and New York Democrats are outraged. Now you see how fickle the world is. This is funny because this actually happened. They said this quote about Trump and Trump's administration. Here we go. A troll account edited, so we see that, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to enhance this for you because this is a little pixelated. Can't read through the pixels. Okay, so this is appalling, dangerous, encouraging violence that never should be tolerated. That must never be tolerated. Shame on whoever is behind this kind of garbage. Now the real quote by Maxine Waters was about Trump. So I'm going to replace it and I'm going to say her exact quote verbatim. If you see anybody from the Trump administration in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gas station, you get out and you create a crowd and you push back on them and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere. Okay? So they switched Trump with Cuomo, and that means the Cuomo administration. Okay? And you see how everyone freaks out. But this was okay when it was about Trump and Trump supporters. This is wild, and this is where the great division comes from. So I call it out to hopefully wake up people on both sides that are missing the point. The point is to get your act together and see the truth. Judge people by who they are, not what type of politics they associate themselves with, because it's not a monolith. Not everyone thinks the same. And even though Joseph Biden himself during the campaign said Latinos aren't a monolith like African Americans, Joe Biden, by virtue and by his statements during the election cycle, said the most racist crap that you could hear. This happened all the time, and oh my God, Jimmy Garofalo is a jet. What in the God's green earth? What did they... Okay, breaking news. One Jackie Wadsworth just threw up in the comments. Jimmy Garofalo, the former Patriot, backup star child to Tom Brady's long flowing locks, was just removed from the 49ers to the Jets. So did they trade Sam Darnold? Let me know in the comments. I will check, but that was breaking news. My eyes almost fell out of my head. Okay. Oh, geez. Okay. Back to it. So then you see, this is dangerous. There's no place in politics. Oh, spare me, someone else to excuse. Someone else is saying a variation doesn't change the fact that this is seeking to incite violence against the public office and their staff. What's wrong with you threatening violence against duly elected representatives of the people in New York is fascism. Yes, I agree. Threatening the politics is fascism. And I said this before when I called for the resign of all swamp creatures, both left and right. It is not okay to want violence. and we've made it acceptable for at least one party, and it's all garbage hogwash. That's ASMR. Okay, so as you go through it, you've seen it on the screen long enough. Really, did we not learn anything from the Capitol insurrection? We must condemn violence and harassment in any form. I agree. But it was you guys that actually said this quote. And it was disgusting when it was said back in like 2017, I believe, or 2018. Just as disgusting. Now, having said all that, right? Wait, I'm losing my train of thought. Let's bring it back. That's what I was going to say. Condemn the violence and harassment, right? But do we not learn anything from the Capitol insurrection? Well, it's Friday. And if I'm drinking on Friday, and I'm going to order myself some ravioli pizza on Friday, which I am. Support your local pizzerias. I have to throw out the obvious comment that has been missed. And that is, on the floor of the Senate, Chuck Schumer, the moron, was up there and he actually said these words, and like a sixth grader. Okay, I'm gonna start this beforehand. Back in '96, when I was in IS-24, I was in class. It was actually '97. It was the spring already. We were doing our science. And one of the kids was reading, and it came to the word organism. Now, every sixth grader at this point, when they saw the word organism, thought about orgasm. That's what sixth graders think about. I know, it's hard truth, but this is what it was. And he said out loud as he was reading his textbook, the orgasm, and the whole class started, and everyone started laughing, and the teacher was like, "Get it together, keep moving." And we had to all pull it back in. Well, Chuck Schumer, last week, I believe it was last week. It was this week. I'm sorry. It was this week. I'm losing track of weeks. Chuck Schumer was on the floor of the Senate, talked about how the Capitol, we have to hold Trump accountable for what happened at the Capitol. He incited the erection. And he stopped, and then had to go, I mean, insurrection. Maybe Chuck Schumer could get special interest money by lending this quote out and this moment in our history of our government to Cialis or Viagra. I'm just throwing it out there. It's Friday. Enjoy. Okay, so we're going to continue. Next, if you plan to get the COVID vaccine, if that is what you choose to do, because it's your right as far as I'm concerned, there is pain reliever. There's a study that says pain relievers may dull effectiveness of COVID-19 vaccine. Experts warn. And it said if you take Tylenol, Advil, ibuprofen of any kind, aspirin of any kind before having this injection. I almost said before having this erection. It almost happened. Before having this injection, that it will change the way the body reacts initially to the presence of the vaccine. And there's a previous study that shows that it makes less antibodies as well if you do this. Every flu shot I've taken for the past several years, I took Advil prior to, and I took lysine and all my usual stuff I've talked about on these programs prior to getting the flu shot. And luckily, I did not get the flu during those years. But if this is a fact, should be looked at. Of course, the studies are still ongoing because this is happening in real time, the entire thing. But I'm throwing it out there so you have some information. Don't pre-take. Take once the symptoms come on, the effects of it. That is what was said. I think I missed a slide. Oh, yeah, they got more people. It says, as a congressman who lived through... I lost this one. Let's see. Did I lose anything else? No. So back to the last one, just for fun. It said, if you see anybody at the Congress who lived through the insurrection against the U.S. Congress, I'm appalled by this tweet, which is an invitation to violence against public officials. We must all denounce it, and everybody should denounce it. And going forward, any idiot that says this should have to leave Congress, and they should start by taking Maxine Waters and letting her live out the rest of her career that should be in retirement right now since she's old. How old is Maxine Waters?
Maxine Waters is 82 years old.
She's 82. Let her retire. She's got a multi-million-dollar house, I believe, if I remember the facts correctly, and that's paid for by, of course, I guess her salary in the Congress, that's only $200,000. I don't know. You do the math. So, here we go. We got go away notification for message. Go away. There we go. I talked to you last night about shadow bans. What you're seeing right here was as I was playing the Max unauthorized files, I could not get video, even if I turned video on, and I could not get audio. So, there it is. Turn video off, turn video on, turn sound on and off. There was people viewing. The sound went off for someone, and then once the video ended, it went to right to another live feed or another video, and those people had sound instantly. This happened with, and as we know, I'm syndicating this now through the Max Public House page. I am part of the team and the news, and we're going to get out through here. This is how one of our communications are, and it's essentially, in its own way, a backup page for Max if Max just falls off the face of the earth. So follow, and there will be a graphic coming soon when I have some time along the bottom of the screen that says, @WeThePeopleAreTheNews. So you got to follow it on Instagram and Facebook for Interpreting the News with John, and you can keep with it that way. But when they had their broadcasts, these broadcasts were shadow banned. Facebook in general is not showing their link to that many people. It's starting to get pushed back in their algorithm. And the big one, it was muted. So the live feeds of the press conferences and all the press conferences, they were mute. People on Facebook say, I can't hear anything. It's done. There's no sound. Technical error or a technical error that works for big tech? That's the question. So again, I told you, YouTube made a shadow ban. One of the people said, I didn't get any notification on this upload. Shadow ban, which was my last one of the full press conference. They put an age restriction on the unauthorized files for God knows what reason. And sounds going off on live feeds. It's all questionable at best, and you could say it's conspiratorial, but right now we know that there's accounts being purged, freedom of speech is under attack. There's accusations that Twitter even ran the account for Mike Lindell of MyPillow, and then further was tweeting on his behalf from his own account and wouldn't let him delete certain things before they permanently suspended him. So there's some interesting things going on, and shadow banning is a true thing. Let's see, Garoppolo. I always say Garofalo, Jacqui, but I want to know more about the trades. There's more comments. This always happens. No idea. Let's see. Nope, that's it. I don't really know who the trade was for, so we can't report that trade. Having said that, it is Friday. I suggest you all order a pizza, get a drink. Like I said, do something fun in the way that you can. I'm not going to drag this episode out today. On Fridays, they're going to be a little more laid back and shorter because let's just face the facts. Hold on. There's a big... wait, I'm getting some information, actually, I think, about that Garoppolo trade. Hang on one second. I will report it to you in case you care. I do care. Let's see. Everyone's freaking out. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I mean, how breaking news is it? The Jets are garbage. So let's just say his career's over, just like everybody that goes to the Jets. I love him, but sucks to suck. So like I said, Friday episode's going to be light, and everybody's got to get in the habit of sharing this and spreading the word. If you can't share it because you don't want to be associated with a program that says it how it is, because people will deem this a crazy program, do it as you please. But tune in. Again, I don't care if I'm talking to one person, 0 people, or 1,000. I like to talk about this stuff because it's a way of venting. And I think I'm doing good if I reach one person and let everyone calm down. Everybody's got to step it down a little bit, and that's what I'm here to help do. This is from Nicole Arbor. Go team, hashtag go team. Nicole Arbor's been doing wonderful things. She's She's a very funny comedian that's super politically wise. Canadian slash, I believe she has dual citizenship. She's really into politics of the U.S. She's gone through some stuff in life, but here we go. This is from her new little series on Instagram, Nicole's Notes. Follow her at Nicole Arbor. The letter B, Nicole Arbor, all as one. So here you go. It says to you. So it says, note, people will be mad at you, question you, and want to hate you for being able to stand up in what's real to you. But trust me, it's worth it. And I say this all the time. I do this program, and it pisses some people off. I helped Max Public House get the message out, and it pissed people off. And the general statement, I feel, by many, if you're not pushing the agenda and the belief of one party, the best thing that everyone in the middle, every moderate person, everyone that still can think is, if you're not pushing just the left, because it's either the left or nothing, or you'll get canceled, or it's you better be pushing the left because they're crazy to the left. Everyone wants you to just be quiet. They just want you to go through life very quietly. And I assure you there's more to life than everybody either thinking that you're just a part of what they want, or you're silent so you're okay. I don't need anyone's approval. You don't need anyone's approval. And this brought this out. When I read this, it was like, this is really good. Because you know what? Maybe the hate that these people have for you standing up and actually saying something will wake up the fact that they are morally corrupt themselves. Because you have to ask why you feel this hate, why you feel this way. And for both people on the extreme sides, extremism is not good. It's okay to be liberal. It's okay to be conservative to a certain degree until it infringes upon everything that everyone holds dear. So, in the true spirit of I don't like violence on either side, and the true spirit of I do believe you should have a voice because you have one life, you have a limited time on earth, and that's just fact. If you're not ruining anybody's time by having certain fiscal conservative values or certain liberal conservative values, why hate somebody? Why have this anger? Why say I'm not for violence and then be so angry that you borderline impinge on the violent threshold? If you're tolerant of difference of opinion. And if you're not, well, then you're not. But don't sugarcoat it and wrap it up in a big present and put a big bow on it. It's time for everybody to talk and talk peacefully. When you feel yourself going, no, it's not going my way, remember you are mimicking that of a toddler. We're better than this. We're grown-ups. It's okay to disagree. And if you want to bring things to the table and analogies, you can say how your analogy works out. But if you're going to bring some crazy statements to the table, you better have facts. If it's not an analogy, an actual statement, you better have facts that back it up. I've seen this across the board, and I've seen it from both sides. It's happened to me directly. I'm not just making this up as I spat at the camera. It's happened in all ways. But the truth is, if you can't keep yourself together while having a conversation and you're getting too angry, you've failed at getting your point across, and you're leading with emotions, which means you're not making sense anymore. It's happened to me in rebuttal to being attacked verbally in general. And it happens extremely, extremely rarely. And that is something I want to get even better at. Because having it happen once is once too many times. So I urge everybody out there to take that to heart, this message. You can do big things in this world. And you can talk to people in a calm way. Everybody, take a deep breath, calm down, and enjoy life. Because there's one guarantee I can give you is it doesn't last forever. And you can't look at somebody that has a difference of opinion as somebody that is an enemy. We're all one. We are a group of friends. We are a family from this country through us all. And we all operate in our own countries, and that's okay. So think that believe it, and understand it. Because we, the people, are the news. We, the people, are what makes the world go around. Follow us on @WeThePeopleAreTheNews on Facebook and Instagram, and wherever you may be. If I'm there, that's where we're at right now at this current time. And I will see you on Monday, for, of course, the weekend gives us tons of material. So we'll have a very long show on Monday for easy an hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you Monday at 6 p.m. Share it, follow me, do the damn thing. I love you all, and I will see you then. Peace up, A-Town down. Yeah.